him into the major, but this is a team with potential. But Boom is still the top dog, so keen to see what they bring out here with this new roster out from SMG, as we will get into that game now. Again,
I love both drafts, man. I just love both drafts. They look so they look really fun drafts to play.
Yeah, they're very different from what we saw in that last series, wasn't it, Ottomo? Like, maybe a little bit more similar for Boom, but SMG definitely going with something unique.
So I think the mic cut just a second for me, but yeah, the Viper Juggernaut. This is a pretty dangerous lane. FBZ will suffer a little bit, although luckily for Tims, he can just leap away if anything gets, if anything gets too tough for him. So FBZ might not have a good game. This might be one of those rare things where they actually counter him in the lane.
Yeah, could be a slower start for him, a bit harder to build up, hit those initial timings. What do you think is the key factor for, say, SMG in order to really leverage this draft? Like, you've got this great presence early on from Viper. Who are you really looking to enable and kind of start to hit your tempo here for SMG?
Dawnbreaker is going to be the person you really want to keep your eye on for Masteros. Like, you really want this guy to have a good game, because Zeus, you can always farm, and he does, and he'll be fine no matter what. But Dawnbreaker is going to be sort of the focal point of your aggression. He's going to be the guy sort of jumping in. He's going to be the guy that's taking all the damage early on as well. So it's really important that he gets his levels and his items into good timing. Because everyone else is fine. Like, if Zeus suffers a little bit, he's still Zeus. He still always does damage.
Yeah. A little bit of a scuffle over these runes as they start to posture around. SMG looking like they'll be able to go for a 3-for-1 start, so a little bit of a stronger time for SMG to kick things off. We'll take a look at that top lane before going anywhere else here, Ottomo. Mid one on the Jug, Paulson on that Viper. They are laning up against FBZ and Tims once more on Mirana and Mars. I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but how do you expect this lane to go? Is it going to be extra tough for FBZ? Is there any way to kind of manage this lane?
By the way, look at Tims. He hasn't even put a skill point in anything, because he knows if he gets caught. Oh, okay, now he takes the Sacred there. I was like, that's what I was about to say. But yeah, I do think FBZ is just going to suffer. And Tims, he has the arrow. He needs to be careful, though. He gets those few poison stacks on him. They don't know what he's taken. But like, this is the position 5 Viper. I think it's just going to be a tough lane for Boom, almost regardless. We'll wait and see, though. Tims absolutely suffering, man.
Yeah. Cops a lot of damage out from Paulson. Paulson still has a healthy amount of mana, along with 2 mangoes on hand, so definitely a lane that SMG could be aggressive in. Is that the call for SMG? Look to be aggressive, hit your level 2, level 3, and run down FBZ?
Yes, like, you don't want this guy to get a good start. We've seen what FBZ can do all the time. Just make him suffer a little bit. Mid one, take a little bit of tower hits, but he'll be fine overall. Both just doing a really good job so far.
Yeah, just zoning him out, using that poison attack. It's a Viper. It's not something that ever makes any lane fun, so we'll see how Boom handles it down the line. Down mid here, Yopaj on the Invoker, up against Moon on the Zeus. Not a matchup we see too often, especially in CE. We actually don't see too much Zeus in Southeast Asia, but you talked a bit about this with a Heavenly Jump to dodge out. Do you expect Yopaj to have a slower time here in comparison to the last series?
Yes. I mean, to be honest, like, we saw him get, what, like 6 kills or something in the previous game. I just don't think that Moon will be dying that much regardless. It's a little bit more even in this game. And that favors SMG a lot. Moon, if you get level 60, is taking a few hits here, but overall he's doing pretty well for himself. Yeah, look at that. He just takes a cold snap, jumps away, and he's fine.
That jump range is ridiculous.
Bomb lane Scam.
Oh. Does get caught out. Scam will suffer. Jackie's still trying to hold that lane up top. They do manage to clear out Paulson, though. And they will lose Tims in the end, but they're managing to find some trains. So SMG getting some early aggression out. They are managing to find that opening, and especially that bot lane, which we haven't really talked about here. Warlock and Bloodseeker just doesn't feel like the most aggressive. And you can kind of sustain really well, but to fight back against the damage that the Dawnbreaker and the Techies has, it just doesn't feel like you can do much about that.
Yeah, and they can always just go for the Warlock, right? Because, like, if you're stunned and silenced, you're not gonna be able to do anything. Whereas going for Jack Boys and Bloodseekers, like, yeah, he just gets a heal, he kills the creep, and he'll just be fine. So I like what they're doing in the bottom lane. And Mazaros gets it. That's really important, because all eyes, I feel like, should be on Mazaros in this game to sort of make the moves for his team.
Yeah, and this is an interesting matchup because Jackie and Masteros used to be teammates all the way back in old Motivate Trust when they were on the rise. These two have played together for almost a year, so they know each other very well. They've Of course, it's been a while since that moment. They've both grown as players. It's still an interesting sort of grudge match almost
Lawson?
between them. Although up top, Paulson starting to drop lows is fine. Dodges out the arrow. FBZ being spun on. Does not have a spear back any longer. At least has the Gods Reap to push back. Mid one doesn't quite have enough damage. But they do apply that pressure onto FBZ. A bit of a slower start for Boom overall in lanes. FBZ and Jackie not quite finding the CS they'd want to, as SMG's working lanes out really well here on the
Afu, bottom lane, takes a silence, and is being chased. Is he going to be okay here? That's a lot of damage.
Still looking for it. Is slowing down by the mine. Isn't going to be able to go all the way as the hammer's out. Starbreaker doesn't quite connect in the stun, and Jackie is going to be able to just sit back and farm back up. Shadow Word to sustain. So just looking to poke and prod while they can. Blood right out though. Afu is going to fall. Bomb doesn't connect as well, so no way of punishing Jackie for going forward. They find a little bit of a trade back and forth now.
Really well played by Jack. The way he was able to actually throw that blood right, perfect positioning. But going back mid one, I talked about, you know, they want sort of a save carry, a carry who can help other carriers. Well, Lifestealer would be one of them with Infest as well as the Rage. But Juggernaut, he just stood in front of Pelosin after he was hit by the spear and to help him dodge the air, which is really nice play by him. And something that, you know, I'm glad we're seeing. Like, they're like, we know this is a strong combo. This is one way we can prevent their damage. Oh, Tim's, yeah, that poison attack does a lot of damage, buddy.
Level 2 up on Paulson, level 3 on the hero. Has a value point in Corrosive, so it's not a simple matter of just trading hits for Tims. And again, Boom, they're not quite finding that strong start. SMG, known for their early aggression here in Ultimo, they are playing this game as you would expect SMG to do so. Mid one having a great time. Moon having a pretty good time against Yopaj mid. We're not seeing that snowball start. They're starting to get aggressive again. Bloodright does connect, but no real damage coming through from just Jackie to chase down Masa at this point. And
I gotta say, I love the Zeus pick for Moon. You know, it punishes over-aggression, which is like, with Southeast Asia, you know, there tends to be a lot of brawl, tends to be teams go down a bit low health, and it's like, now you have the Zeus. Boom will always be thinking, alright guys, we can't be too over-aggressive because they'll always have a way to punish us. Because there's also the Solar Guardian, but instant 300 damage from anywhere can be, you know, you can just switch fights around, turn fights around, sorry.
yeah, does have his level 6 as well, just no mana to really play off the back of that Thunder God's Wrath yet. But again, the signs are there for SMG. They found that strong start that they'd want. They are starting to build into that point where they can take control of this game. For Boom's part, I mean, what are we looking for from Boom's lineup? Okay, Scam does rotate mid, drops and grabs the Invis away from the Zeus, does manage to get the D-ward as well, but in the line of fire, no follow-through, no refill for Moon, so just not allowing to play with that bottle. FZ does manage to bail out in the nick of time. They are still holding mid. Tim's again on rotation here. They don't have the best setup to catch Moon out. As you pointed out, the Heavenly Jump is pretty annoying for you to play with without setup for the arrow stun. So Moon's going to be protected, and they get the opportunity to TP in. Paulson's here as well. Lots of heroes down mid. It's a 6-hero standoff here.
And look at FBZ, really suffering in terms of net worth. Lowest of the cores, not far ahead of Tim's. But Boom, they're saying, alright, let's up the aggression, the mid lane, to give FBZ some breathing room. And it does help a little bit. Pelosin does come in the mid lane, so I like that move by them. FBZ needs to be careful, though. He's up against mid one who's level 6. Spinning, he's going for it. Is he going to try to kill? Nah, just too many creeps around.
Yeah, not the clearest path for mid one to go for that Omni just yet. Could have the opportunity, but FBZ just kind of pokes and prods him away. It doesn't quite latch onto the tree, and the heal is there. Now, if you're Boom right now at this kind of start, I mean, what sort of timings are we looking for now from Boom? SMG feels like they've gotten everything they want from lanes. They're getting a rotation here from SMG on bot.
Looks like Afu's part losing his life.
Yeah. Gets ruptured up. Afu trying to blast off. Tornado is there to stop. Bloodright as well to hold. Masa does get the Starbreaker, but cops the silence for it as they manage to clean up Moon on the side. Now Masa in tourist range. Jackie's just going to chase the bit onto his former teammate. Not going to go for the full kill. Another Urn charge out onto Masa, along with a Cold Snap. And that should be enough to kill off the Dawnbreakers. Yopaj bounces back into the game. Makes great work of that Urn.
And they also lose Pelosin's Courier as well, which is another 200 gold. The FBZ is taking a lot of slows here. And it looks like they're trying to get that kill. You can see Afu's teleporting here, but might be a bit too far. Tim's snuffs it out, and Tim's just, oh man, he stops that aggression really well played. Like, Tim's goes there. Oh, well,
Tornado, arrow out, they catch out Moon. The blast off is there to cut Tim's off, but the damage is being done to Moon already. Heavily jump away, not quite enough to save. Yopaj under tower range is going to be able to ghost walk his way out of there. Sentry down from Afu though, along with a dust. So they've got Yopaj locked in if they can find the angle. The mine does connect Yopaj. Starbreaker's there, can't walk out of that one. Does get the cold snap off, and the arrow does save for a bit onto Paulson, but Afu should be perfectly fine. So the aggression from Boom being punished. SMG starting to meet some of that aggression back. Gets a massive kill onto Yopaj.
Good one for one trade. Much need for SMG, considering that things were still slightly going out of hand for them, but now that kill puts them back in. And Moon, after what looked like a pretty solid laning stage, he is just suffering. Not as much as FBZ though. FBZ, he is trying to go for the phase with, but he's still pretty far away from them, even the blink tag right after. So it's going to be some time. This is not the standard FBZ game that we're used to seeing, where he's just online all over the map. Here it's like, alright guys, I got to farm a little bit so I can, get back into the game.
Yeah, just have to keep stalling for that blink timing here for FBZ to make some plays. The rest of the team are kind of running around. Tims walks right into that top jungle, popping some hits from Paulson. That might be enough to kill him off. Masa jumps in as well. Another kill for the Dawnbreaker coming through. And SMG just kind of getting some pickoffs here and there. Jackie, mid one is showing down bot now. Does not have the mana for the Omni, but has his stick charges ready with Afu in the back. Not going to go for it. He is just playing the farm game. And a lot of back and forth.
This game's almost level 6, so that, a spin TP may not be an option. By the way, you know how Tims is confident in his Mirana? He's actually maxing out the arrow first. Already has 3 points in it, 1 Star Storm, 1 in Leap. He's like, yeah, I know I'm gonna land them. What do you got? You guys worried? I'll get them. I'll get the full damage every time. So that's very bold. I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, Tims is, as Mike likes to call, the Filipino sniper, and he is off for a rotation now as well. The Arcane Rune on Yopaj. Have a good line for Paulson. Tornado does clip him in the end. Arrow flies out. Should be an easy follow through for the spear. Solar Guardian is going to stall for a while, but the arena is immediately dropped by Masa onto Masa, and Masa can't really close out. Moonlight Shadow to help them retreat. Sentry is down for them to keep eyes here on SMG. So you wouldn't want an opportunistic kill onto any more cores. They will manage to retreat, although Tims is still on the run. Finds Afu, but Tornado doesn't manage to catch out Moon. The Trampoline jump was on the table. And we'll hold back the aggression of Boom here. But 4 heroes committed up top on Boom. They find the Viper. They don't really find any big cores here, Ottoman.
Yeah, they also have to use the arena. I mean, on one side you can say also they use Solar Guardian. But Boom did not want to do that. They did not want to throw the arena just to secure a kill on Poloson's Viper. I was like, that's not ideal. In the meantime, also Ximila just absolutely fun. Afu jumps in, goes for Tims.
Tornado, EMP is there. Afu could be sacrificing for that move. Omni Slash onto Yopaj. He's still under Sentry, and he managed to blow up the Invoker. Big kill so far coming out as they also find Tim. Skem being chased down here, trying to get some damage off onto the Zeus, but the Golem can't keep up, and that's going to be more gold the way of SMG. 3 for 1, 2 for 1 if you want to count that earlier death in Paulson. And they managed to, again, start to line up to show us that SMG we've come to know. The aggression's there. They're willing to take these fights no matter how scattered or staggered they are. It is giving Boom space for Jackie to farm. Is that investment in the Bloodseeker worthwhile here, Ottomo?
I mean, if you're SMG, you're very happy, right? There's the thing about Dota where it's like, can we shut the ulti rounds? They can't. Not against a team like Boom, but getting that big fight top lanes really works really well for them. Poloson's also been stacking, gives it all to Moon, so just a nice couple of minutes coming out for SMG. I was going to say to put them back in the game, but to put them in the lead in this game, in fact. And Mazaros will have his Solar Guardian as well. It's kind of nice that he has that in this game against like the Mirana Arrow, because we're seeing like Mirana Arrow usually takes a couple of seconds to get follow-up. That time, Mazaros will be there and helping his team.
Just that little bit of healing has managed to turn the tides of these fights, or at least stall it out a little bit more for SMG to find that response. And again, they're keeping themselves up really well. Mid one, number 1 net worth board right now, almost 1,000 above Jackie on his Jug, and is set to have a great timing on the Yasha, has the Maelstrom up. A little bit of poking here from Skem, just getting some scouting out, drops a nice sentry, but doesn't manage to get the D ward on the high ground. So he was blocked off and sacrificed his courier. Yep.
Check out what Moon is going. He's going for the first item, Kaya. which not the Aether lens, sort of an extra cast range, not going for that shot. I mean, he kind of does help Zeus a lot. You burn through your mind like crazy, so you need that amp. Oh, but it is a bit awkward. Afu, arrow.
Oh,
Oh,
barely misses out from Tim's. Timing was just a little bit off for that kill opportunity. They are doing a great job of just, not giving openings out here to Boom. SMG just managing to juke and jive, still keep their farm game up while getting their own aggression out. Their mid-tier one still holds. No towers falling yet from either side. And, as we approach the 15-20 minute mark, it does feel like SMG is going to be hitting that earlier spike. Like the full Kaya is up on Moon, as you mentioned here, Optimo. And they immediately smoke up. SMG looking for a bit of an angle. They have Thunder Gods ready if they need it. Paulson also has his Viper Strike good to go. Question is if they can find any Olive Boom across that river right now. Not the safest time to jump in. Fu still walking up. Yopaj does break, but immediate jump forward from Fu. Silences out Thunder Gods as well, along with a Solar Guardian, everything to kill off Yopaj. They find a big kill and they just back off Arena out though, catching out Paulson. Arrow as well, but it is only a support Viper and they don't even have enough damage for that as they start to re-engage. Rupture out onto Massa, keeps that chase back. The mid is being shoved in. FBZ with a spear back though onto Massa with a Rupture. That should be a kill, but he sacrifices with the Omni Slash from mid 1. Arrow out, blocked by mid 1 with a spin. 2 for 1. They hold on to their mid tier 1 on Boom, but it costs them a lot of cores.
It was worth it. The spear to get the kill on Mazaros was worth it. FBZ, I like that he went for it. The Rupture and spear damage is something we haven't actually talked about, but it was massive. Like Mazaros lost like half his HP from that. The overall SMG still pretty, they're pretty happy with what just happened for them. And oh my god, disconnect here gives us a chance to look at some of those things. And Zeus with the Kaya, by the way, it's really good for helping him farm. You just don't run out of mana as much. So I like it. It's a little greedy though. It's not something keeping you safe. It's just something to help him farm a little bit faster in the game. It does give you a little bit of damage, but a little bit greedy here. And mid 1, very active in this game. 3-0 and 3, involved in 6 of the 9 kills. Shows up always with a good Omni Slash, usually on FBZ. Poor FBZ's taking those. And yeah, SMG looking pretty good, pretty hot this game. Exactly 15-9-9. Tiny advantage for SMG, but not a big deal. The question I have for you, John, since you're always asking me questions, I'm going to have to ask you a question, is which team do you think has the better late game lineup?
That's where it gets a bit iffy. It feels like the Jug is going to have a bit of a better time overall in comparison to Bloodseeker. Like, Bloodseeker late game is great, especially with the Ag Shard. It doesn't feel like you have anyone really beefy to feed off of outside of Masa. Like, the Jug is always going to have Omni Slash in comparison. You have the Shard build up yourself in the Jug, with a Spin getting a little bit more utility, especially if you get a Basher on top. And, of course, the Ags as well for added invulnerability. It just feels like mid 1 has more leeway to play his game, and it's a little bit more easy to pull off in comparison to what Boom will have to do. Like, we've seen the potential of Rupture Spear back. You're not always going to have access to that, especially as certain BKBs come on from SMG, especially on Masa. So relying on that to be your big pick-off outside of maybe an Arrow with Tornado is difficult. And the scaling from Boom, I mean, it can be there. You still have potentially Cataclysm plus Arena being a big factor, along with Fatal Bonds. Like, that is an insane amount of damage. But just to get those circumstances right, it's not easy. It's just a lot harder to pull off, especially up against a team like SMG, who, if they stay disciplined, shouldn't be caught out very clumped up like that. And I think that just makes it easier for SMG to execute with Air Draft.
I feel like the same. Like in Boom Esports, their big sort of late game combo power spike will be something like an Arena to Cataclysm, which is great. But SMG, they have all these. Zeus is always good, always dishing out a ton of damage. Invoker, more of sort of a pick off hero, great in team fights, but just doesn't feel like he brings the same consistent damage as Zeus. So, and I do like the Juggernaut more than the Bloodseeker for sure. And Dawnbreaker versus Mars. That's one where I feel like the Mars comes out a little bit on top, just a little bit, just because FBZ's Mars from mid lane.
Got the tornado, but another spin out. The arrow doesn't connect anyway.
Just be careful.
Tim's still being lined up for spear back. No Arena, but they get him on the ice wall here as the Golem does drop onto 2. They lose Jackie for this. They have to find mid 1. They will. Yopaj still dropping low, but they should be able to find Afu as well. Moon doesn't quite have the Thunder Gods, so no punishment for Yopaj. Iruna's out as well. Spear connects from FBZ. They've got the damage to deal with Moon this time around. Masa's on top. Cleans out Skem. Cold snaps there with the EMP. No BKB to save Masa. Mana is starting to run low. Tornado clips him. No. Hasted Viper coming in, but the Spear connects. Still no damage fall through. No, FBZ blinks forward. Shard up from Masa does give him enough damage and spacing, and Masa finds the kill. Sunstrike off the mark from Yopaj, and SMG manages to still trade blows in the end.
Overall, what was it? 3 for 3 in the end. A little bit of advantage for Boom Esports getting those 2 cores, but still, we lost Jackboy the top lane, by the way, before that fight began. So SMG kind of okay with this fight. It's an even fight overall, but mid one a little greedy. I know, I gotta call him out for that. He spins, he goes forward rather than retreating to his own tower. So that cost him his life right there.
Yeah, just trying to go for that farm. Trying to go it forward, maybe looking to bait in a bit. Does sacrifice his own life to get that done. Still, our Jug is still #1 in that fort. Should have that decent timing into San Jiasha finished up here. Gonna be a little bit harder to hold him down. Boom, for their part, I mean, they've been playing really well with his blink on FBZ. They've got some great stacks for Jack to clear out. He is getting his own farm built up into his own BKB here. And FBZ also has some good stacks to clear out in the large camp himself. They are still getting that itemization they need, but you are looking at that slight lead for SMG coming true. I think the big question I have in my mind here, Otmo, is how do you catch out? We've seen a couple of circumstances where you can jump him, but for the most part, he stands back. You try to jump him. Heavenly Jump is there. Especially once he builds into the BKB here for Moon with a Sanj Kai on top, it doesn't feel like you have the best ways of jumping that backline from Boomset.
I mean, you can always just throw a Rupture at him, but it's like you said, it's hard. You know, you're not going to have an easy time catching him. Maybe the level 20 with the Bloodseeker, you get that Rupture talent. But in general, Zeus, ever since he got the Heavenly Jump, this has been a problem everyone's coming by. He's too mobile for the amount of damage he does. And going for that BKB, not something we see very often, but absolutely brilliant pick in this game specifically. And oh, by the way, they do have a Philosopher's Stone on Boom Esports. So you give that to the Warlock, you might be looking at an Aghanim's Warlock, but they give it for now to Tim's. Even supports sometimes take gold from supports.
Now, is that privilege? Afu getting chased down a bit. Proxmine to kind of interrupt. Does have the taser on as well, but Yopaj still on the hunt. Tornado connects, arrow to follow through. Doesn't connect this time around. Solar Guardian to stall out. Ice Wall is there. Can they find a kill into Yopaj? He gets caught out. Blowed out of the water. Skem as well. Mid one on top, trying to look for more. Not going to be able to. But SMG punishing that aggression from Boom. It just took them so long. They can't even jump Afu fast enough.
To be fair, Afu was able to just sidestep the arrow just barely, and that really made all the difference for them. So well played by him. And yeah, Boom Esports kind of suffering. Maybe the Visa nerf comes a little bit after, you know, the debuff from Afu actually does. So maybe the Visa debuff comes a little bit after. You know, it takes a few hours to kick in. But Visa application proving to be quite a problem here for Boom Esports.
Well, it's a problem that they've cleared at the very least. You know, thankfully good news for them, except for a couple players who will have a reappointment tomorrow. But SMG just looking a lot more energized, looking a lot more aggressive here, Otmo, finding those openings they want, playing this SMG style that they've been known for since the team is formed. They just constantly in your face. They've got such great responses to the jumps with Masa constantly playing the Solar Guardian. BKB almost done on that Dawnbreaker as well, along with the shards. Makes it hard to lock in and stop Masa from playing his game. Boom's starting to clump up top though. They do have the Golem ready along with the Arena if they find the angle, but SMG is not in the area. Scan out from Boom does spot them mid. They aren't really able to make a play just yet, although Arena's out onto Afu. Can they get the damage off? Sunstrike on top, along with a Blood Right, should give them the kill of Afu, but that's an Arena for techies. Jackie jumps in, has his BKB, immediately Viper Strike though. Has to run.
There.
Arrow connects, but where's the follow-up? FBZ has the blink. Isn't going to be able to gap close. So they find one, it takes a lot.
Did you see that Mazros took the arrow for Moon because Moon was trying to teleport away in the second. He was ruptured and it's like, oh, that might be enough damage for them to actually go and kill the Zeus. So really sacrificial play. And Afu dying is not the biggest deal. Yeah, it's just your position 4. Techies in Arena was used. So for Boom Esports, they're not going to be able to fight for a little bit, or at least not with their full power. They're going to be able to take an engagement. So overall, it's okay for SMG to lose that fight.
Yep, they also had to use those fresh BKBs on Boom. Jackie having to use his pretty big for the Bloodseeker because I feel like that's his spike, that's his moment to run around, control these fights. Not able to really do so. And SMG still going out with smokes in the supports. Afu, Paulson looking for something to play with. Solar Guardian is back up on Masa. So again, just that combination of the blast off with a taser onto Solar Guardian. You can't punish the techies for that jump in. And you've got an opportunity for SMG. Looking for the angle, smoke out along with Moonlight from Boom.
Oh, mid one?
Mid one. Oh, the spear! FBC misses! Spin out, and that's a chance for SMG to jump on top. Blast off is there onto Scam. Should find a Warlock. Tornado doesn't connect on anyone as well. Arena's out onto 2. Solar Guardian on top. Golem to stop, but the damage just isn't there. Sunstrike misses. Everything thrown out from Boom, and it just doesn't find them in. SMG. They just hold their ground, keep playing aggressive, and it's no problem.
Yeah, you'd think that this would be how Boom would play. You know, they have the more sustained lineup with their heroes. They got a pipe on the Mirana, but no, it's actually SMG. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll just... Yeah, we got the healing ward, we got Mazeros healing. We can't be killed. And Boom is having damage issues. They are having clear damage issues. They're having problems like sort of zoning them out. I don't know, should your pods consider going for like an Aghanim Scepter? He's going for BKB, which is fine. But after, I don't know if Hex is the item that's going to sort of put you back in the game. You might want to just play with FBZ and, you know, Arena just be like, alright, we just got a Cataclysm, hope we got the damage for it.
Yeah, they've been getting some solid arenas on Boom. We've been seeing great 2-man, sometimes 3-mans from FBZ. Good foundation for the Cataclysm to build off of. It does look like Boom maybe wants to focus on that single target hold, try to catch out. Perhaps that Jug before the spin is back up. Speaking of the Jug, mid went straight into Roshan along with Massa. Sustain out from Luminosity, should make this no problem clearing out Rosh. And Boom, I mean, they used Arena, they used Golem. They don't have a clean way of going into that pit. They do scout it out, but got to get creative if they want to contest. Smoke on the backline of SMG. Upheaval to hold back. Jumping in with Jackie. Starbreaker does not connect. Who's going to pick up that road? Jackie picks it up. Is low on HP, but they manage to find mid one as well. Holding down Massa in the middle of that pit. BKB was popped. Does manage to get the Starbreaker and kill off that Aegis on Jackie, but a big win for Boom already as the Tornado connects. Blood right on top of Massa being held back. The Spear connects as well somehow. And they managed to clean up. 3-0. Only the Aegis Life falling from Jackie, and that brave walk-in with a BKB pays off in a massive wave for Boom. Some lucky bashes as well from Jackie there, with his basher up. SMG buying back in pulse, and they're going to be held back here, Otomo.
Now, they were ahead, SMG, but that fight... it's kind of like you can't Solar Guardian on the Dawnbreaker. She was like, you got like halfway through that fight. Maybe she should have been out of like range. And it's just a little bit awkward. Zeus also had the ultimate, could have scouted them out before they showed up. Like, there's a tiny bit of things. SMG, they were very sure that they weren't going to be challenged. You know, they're like, oh yeah, we're fine. You know, there's no way they're going to come to us. But Boom Esports, this is why they're the best team in Southeast Asia. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll take the fight. We will do whatever we can. Takes the fight and takes it convincingly as well.
They just make the angle work. They slowly drop in some of their AoE scouting spells. Bloodright Upheaval came out, and they just managed to force SMG to go all in. They try to force the Roshan, they get punished for it. 3k lead suddenly appearing here for Boom. If you're SMG now after a fight like that, losing out Aegis access, you know, not able to really cover the map even more, what do you start to do now if you're on SMG? Like, you're already fairly itemized on every hero.
Top lane.
Oh, Solar Guardian was there for Masa. They do catch out Tims. They get the support. But yeah, back to what SMG might want to adjust here. Like, is there anything else we have to see for them to maybe tidy up some of these engagements?
I mean, they're going to go for the Lincoln Sphere on the Juggernaut, which means that the Ruptures is not going to be an issue for him. So I like that, but bottom lane looks like he might be losing. Lawson
caught out. Nice simple kill for Yopaj. Great spear out from FBZ on the high ground. Didn't manage to catch out in mid one. Does manage to bail off. Sports gets jumped, so they don't get the biggest kill either. Pause 4 for pause 5 in the end. Holding this game, even a 2k lead still standing for Boom. 18-16, still a very close game here, Automo. Take a look at that graph. Win probability 64% for Boom, but not massive. You know, SMG still has a lot of good angles here. Blast off, Afu. Catches FBZ. Arrow does not connect. Mid one still looking to maybe play forward. FBZ severely slowing down by Zeus. As you can see, a very well balanced here right now. The heavenly jump.
Of course. I mean, he's the god. He's the king of gods. You know. I mean, you expect the king of gods to be like this is how he should be. His name is Zeus. You know.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
That's true. He's just so tiny. You compare him to his son Mars, right? Like Mars is gigantic, and Zeus is just a puny guy.
Yeah, but Zeus's strength is sort of like in his, not in the physical form, but Mazaros, his physical form might be departing fairly soon if he's not careful here. But no, he's gonna go for
Playing
Scam.
Tag. Starbreaker there onto Scam. Wrath of God as well. Tendergod's Rot. And Tornado does connect, so Mass is not able to continue. Spear back, perfect from FBZ, along with the Sunstrike, forcing out the BKB from Masa early. They don't manage to find anything. He will back off, but that's no BKB protection on the Dawnbreaker.
At the same time, Arena was used, and they still have the Solar Guardian, so Mazaros, that's kind of the target you want. This guy's BKB is down, he's a bit forward here.
Gets speared back, Bloodright does not connect, but they don't need it. Holding down Masa in the tree line. A bit of an awkward angle from FBZ, but it still works out. Isolating that Dawnbreaker gives him the opportunity for the tier 2 SMG. Not quite in a position to defend. Without that Dawnbreaker, it does feel like their breakup, their counter initiation in these fights kind of disappear.
That was a good play by Boom. They recognize, oh, the BKB is down, Mazaros is still being aggressive, which was a little bit awkward. You know, I'm not sure why he would be aggressive in that situation when BKB is down, but Boom Esports taking full advantage of that and decide to just get this nice kill on him. He does have buyback, and he does have the ultimate if he needs to use it.
He's ready to go. They managed to stall off this top push as well. Boom not going to be able to clean up that objective just yet. Are staying fairly clumped up. They are giving Yopaj some room down mid to get that farm. Still going for that Hex here on the Invoker. Meanwhile, for SMG here, Automo, they've already got the Ags up on Moon. So even more global presence to play with the Nimbus. Does opt to skip that BKB, seeing that he has been fairly well protected in these past few fights. Still queuing it up afterwards, though. So, let's see if that will pay off.
I was kind of excited. I was like, BKB on the Zeus. Whenever we ever seen that, but no, he goes for the Agams, which is still a fine choice. I would like him to see if he's going to go for the Boots of Travel first, or if he prioritizes his BKB to survive. Because with the BKB, you really do dodge everything from Boom except for the Rupture. And he's going to be ruptured, by the way, because there's an Agatives on his, sorry, not Agative, a Lincoln Sphere on the Juggernaut, and there's the 20 talent by Bloodseeker. So there's really no one else you want to rupture besides the Zeus.
Yeah, it's going to be the prime target. Smoke out here from Boom. Immediately catching Moon as we talk about him. Sunstrike out, Solar Guardian to save, BKB popped by FBZ. Golem to stop Masa from getting a play off, and there's that rupture you talked about. Taking out Moon. The God is down. Mid one, still looking for the angle. BKB popped by Masa, trying to get the fight in. Got to get bashed midway. Jackie with the basher. Just getting all the luck he needs. As a full retreat comes out, Paulson, Tornado stops him, and he will be taken out unceremoniously by Boom Esports. As SMG losing that key Zeus, trying to tumble on top, don't manage to find the angle. Mid window is still ready to play, still has the Omni. Is he gonna go to commit? Blast off does miss. Spear back does connect onto Techies, but no follow through this time from Boom. Arrow, not gonna connect. Afu is safe. Again, these skirmishes are starting to line up Boom's way, Automo.
Yeah, losing the Zeus, I mean, maybe that BKB was what he needed. You know, he needs some sort of way to keep his distance. But then again, you know, the Moonlight Shadow, they are just able to get close to the Zeus. And at this point, you gotta wonder, like, SMG, is it time to stick together here? Because when you guys are separated, we're seeing mid one, he's usually pushing the lane by himself. He can do that safely. He's got Lincolns, he can spin TP, he's fine. But the rest of the team, when they try to play around, and one of them usually gets caught, and when they leave him, and you know, you're fighting without your carries, tough situation. So we'll see if they decide to stick as 5. Mid one finds Tims. Lotus Orb. He's like, dude, don't you Omni. I'll give you the anime battle of your life if you try to Omni slash me right now.
I love seeing that Lotus Orb Omni in play every single time. Not going to be treated to that here, but now a potential for Boom. Something that mid one has to be very cautious about as this game goes on. 7k lead for Boom coming out 22-16. A much more even series in comparison to our last one, Automo. So
this game is already longer than the other two combined almost. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we're 5 minutes off from breaking both games, so I'm sure we're going to hit that mark SMG managing to put out a really strong fight, and even, again, having some great moments earlier on, but just kind of dropping here, which is honestly something that SMG has also done in the past. And they get the strong start, and just sometimes it gets a little bit tougher for them to execute in mid-game.
Moon?
Does get caught out. Solar Guardian on top to try to save. BKB out from Yopaj. Is still stunned up, and in an awkward position, is forced to run back. Masa still trying to keep chase, though. Does have a batch of his own. They find Yopaj. They get the kill. So that rotation out from Boom punished. Not quite enough to follow through onto Moon. And Masa just doing what he has to do on that Dawnbreaker. Solar Guardian in, gets the work done. Still trying to chase for more up top, but the TP was there. No Basher and mid one to try and stop that TP out. But they're finding some kills here, and that was a fairly big one for SMG to find.
Yeah, Mazeros, he's got the Basher, but he's going to get there in time.
Blast off onto FBZ from the smoke. FBZ immediately forced the BKB. Might be able to find off Wu and Paulson. Kill is out, instant TP away. Oh, Masa didn't quite get the Celestial Hammer range in the right spot. Didn't manage to walk in for the Starbreaker, so FBZ goes unpunished. Tim's playing tag here. Does get the Lotus Orb off. Does not manage to jump away.
Nice
and is taken off. And they do manage to get the Golem, but there's no follow-through yet. Kills come out. Rupture was expended by Jackie, but they didn't find anything. So it's now Boom that's kind of slipping up in these engagements themselves.
And Roshan's gonna be up in 50 seconds. Very, very scrappy fight by SMG, you know? Like, Mazeros kills bottom, teleports top, moves, then they go to the mid, and like, there's, it's action all over, and they are gonna get this tier 2 as well. We'll see if they go and check Roshan, because it's up for them with a nice goodie bag here. But this is the second Roshan of the game, so it has the Aghanim shard. So we'll see if they want to go for it. Although I feel like everyone on their team has a shard except the Viper. That's one of the problems with everyone on your team has a good shard. It's like you end up buying it very early, and then the one drops and you're like, I guess we'll give it to the guy who doesn't really benefit that much from it.
Yeah, but Viper shards is pretty cool, you know? Minus armor, building damage, feels nice. Boom are aware as they did mention the Sunstrike. FBZ Arena in 10. No Golem. Gotta be quick if they want to interrupt this one this time around. Tornado does hold him back. No moves into the pit, though. Mid one will be secure with the Aegis Life this time around. And as mentioned, the shard on hand. Pass on to Paulson.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, but you know, compared to like the Dawnbreaker, the Zeus, the Juggernaut, these are all so much better shards. They just buy them. So once we get to the third Roche, we'll have problems.
Oh yeah, that's where it gets scary. Refresh your Ag's Blessing on hand. I mean, double Zeus ult, double Nimbus is pretty scary. Double BKBs could be nice as well for Boom. Ag's upgrades for free, especially on someone like mid one's gonna be big. With that additional little Swift Slash on top. More invulnerability. I mean, if you're Boom right now, it's been back and forth. It doesn't feel like either side has taken a clear lead. Boom did have a much more significant lead earlier on. But who are you starting to favor here, Ottomo, as the game scales on towards late game?
I mean, we talked about, I think SMG, honestly. I favor them just a little bit more. I feel like it's so much easier to play Zeus compared to Invoker when it comes to dealing your damage. Juggernaut, you mentioned yourself. Juggernaut compared to Bloodseeker, it's easier to beat the Juggernaut. You know, it just is. It's easier to play him. He's gone for the Lincoln Spear as well. And Midlands just had an absolutely fantastic game. Jack Boy has done amazing as well, but he is the Bloodseeker. And look at that, Mid-1 already threatening the tier 3 bottom. So I just like it. I do think FBZ's Mars is going to have to be the big equalizer here. He's going to have to really have the arenas of his life right now.
Yeah, Moonlight out from the backside here, looking for an angle. Can they find it? FBZ ready with the arena, does manage to get it off, but the spin is there for Midway. He should be able to find Paulson. Solar Guardian not going to save this time around. He managed to isolate Scam. Does not have the Golem ready. Scam going to be held back by the rest of the team and does get blown away by Moon. Spear back to try and stall. They lose 1-for-1 with the instant buyback on SMG. Hex out onto Midwin. Can get the arrow? No. Spin is there on time. Bloodright not quite quick enough from Jackie. And onto the high ground they go once more. Still protected by that Aegis. As no buyback on Scam, no Golem to drop, no Arena as well. Although the Spear back onto 2. Managed to push Mid-1 forward, but they're onto Jackie. They don't care. Hex out. Satanic being popped. First life to go from Mid-1. As Massa's going to go down as well with a lucky batches out. Jug left in the middle here. Instantly speared out. Bloodright on top with the disarm out from Yopaj. And no Omni, nothing to cast with that silence on top. They find that 2 set of lives on Mid-1s. They chase for more. Moon being tickled away. Nimbus providing some damage, but not enough to hold back Jackie. The sustain coming through from Bloodseeker with the Satanic is just a bit too much, and SMG get punished in the high ground. I hate to say it, Optimo, but we've seen SMG on these awkward high ground pushes sometimes, and when they get caught out like that, the ball starts rolling. It's not quite that dire, though. It's a 5k lead for Boom. We've seen them push this from SMG, but how big of an opening is that for Boom here?
And the fact that it all came down to on FBZ, like we were just saying he's the big equalizer, right? Like he's gonna be the one who's gonna have to make. Oh, he catches Pelosi as well. I don't think that is he gonna be able to jump Pelosi? They can't TP. He got a few seconds left, and oh wait, who's killing who here?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Pelosi falls, but still, that's half of FBZ's life. That's pretty dangerous here, just against the Viper. Top lane, they're pushing in.
Yeah, just a straightforward push. Alacrity out and onto Jackie. The damage is there, rotating onto the mid. Only attack is to defend. That's not enough. Respawn is coming through from Masa, but there are no buybacks. So it's going to be a staggered defense coming out from SMG. And that should be something Boom is willing to push up against. Tornado out, doesn't quite catch anyone from Yopaj's end, but to take 2 racks for free from Boom. Rupture out onto Afu, forcing the Solar Guardian out with a Hex on top. Blink forward, Masa looking for an opportunity, gets bashed up though after that Starbreaker and dies. Still no buyback on our Dawnbreaker. So, I mean, they're held off for Mega Creeps though.
He got a good Starbreaker, but no one was there to help him out. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. He's hitting 3 people with it, but just no one there. And now Boom looking to run away with game 1 after SMG put up an amazing challenge for like, dude, literally what, 2 minutes ago, SMG was pushing bottom and looking like they're gonna take the first set of racks, and then Boom just takes top and middle as well. Mazar's not up for at least 50 seconds, which means that Boom could get Mega Creeps without Mazar's even showing up.
Yep, it's going to be a lot longer as they manage to get the Hex off onto mid 1 with the Spear back, with the Silence and the Golem. The Jug caught in the middle, not even able to use that Omni Slash, still no buyback. They clear out Yopaj, but they get the Jug with no buyback. And again, SMG, like you just pop that Lincolns and he's gone.
I mean, unless Moon can do something pretty damn amazing right now, that like this is gonna be a very difficult hold for them. Yopaj did die, so that's kind of nice, but man, it is all on Moon to defend this. Like, doesn't he have an Aetherless? He does have the Psychic headband, because you know, it's a nice 100 castle, but not much, not as much as an Aetherlens.
Off with a blast off. Arena is there from FBC with a refresh. Solar Guardian on top, trying to catch out Tims. Should be able to find Miranda, but here comes Jackie with the right clicks, getting the batch off onto Afu. Blink forward from FBZ. Slow is out from Scam with the upheaval. Masa can't actually move out of here. He's stuck in the middle, trying to Starbreaker out, but he's still slowed in the upheaval. They aren't going to be able to get that kill. But there you go. This is, you know what? Mike likes laughing at me when I say Upheaval's a great late game spell. That's why it's a it's a great late game spell if you get the position right. They just can't run.
See, I would never laugh at you, John, because we're friends. But Upheaval, yeah, I mean, Upheaval late game when the BKBs are down, the radius is pretty damn big as well. It's not a bad spell, but yeah, man, SMG, they managed to hold. Yes, they have to lose Pelosi as well as Afu, which is fine, but they kill Yopaj and Tims. They're still in a very dire situation. And Roshan, could be a minute and a half, could be 4 minutes and a half to respawn. For SMG, this is the problem. Like, Dawnbreaker is a great hero, but you can't quite make the same aggressive plays with Dawnbreaker that you can with Mars and FBZ. Level 25, has Refresher Orb, has that 180 health region, which, by the way, they're using this Schem. They're using Schem's Shadow Word along with the Holy Lock just to keep everyone alive. He's got a Guardian Greaves on Warlock. Like, the damage issues are going to be there for SMG now.
Yeah, it feels like that Zeus is really starting to taper off here. I mean, you always had that pipe earlier on from Tims, and with a full Wraith Pack, it just reduces that output by so much from that Zeus. SMG backs against the wall now. For SMG, how do you see them maybe bring this game their way? Like a smoke out from Boom looking for the angle. Is it all on whether or not Midwin can get and actually use an Omni Slash in a fight?
I was actually gonna say, I was like, if he can get Omni Slash on get those two supports out from the beginning of the fight, they can take it after, because he hasn't really been using it, right? Like the last two fights, bomb lane and as well as. Oh, here we go.
Oh no, straight onto Moon. King stunts are there. Masa just solar guardianing him to his own death. Doesn't manage to get bashed. Will be bashed now. He's gone.
They both have buyback.
They got the buybacks. They're jumping forward. They see mid one. Instant spin. Has the opportunity for an Omni Slash if need be. Still manages to spin out of Arena as well. It is ruptured up, so he's held back. Refresh Arena. Spear does not connect, but they manage to hold back. Sunstrike. Hex out. Mid one still dropping low. Still alive for now. As Will managed to run, but the Golem's doing some good damage onto him. Not quite enough. Thunder God's Wrath does manage to find that kill onto Skem, but it's only the Warlock after the Golem, and now Masa's gone with a dieback. FBC still onto Afu, manages to take out Techies as well, and they're chasing for more. Hex out onto him, trapped up in the tree line, can't get anywhere, jumps forward. Is he actually going to live? No. Omni Slash out onto Jackie, trying to find that kill, but they can't even find one as Yopaj still running, gets bashed up, and the spider legs forward. FBC going to be dropping low, mid one getting work done for the team. 3 for 3 so far, as they are keeping chase. Jackie sneaks out in the nick of time, and Tim's manages to leap away as well. So a salvaged fight from SMG. They hold on. It could have been really bad. They did lose a tier 4, but
yeah,
their racks are holding, and you know the Ancient's not under threat yet, so they're alive for a bit longer here.
I mean, Alpha did have to use a buyback as for that, but mid one, like that was, we saw. Do you see that? He gets the Omni Slash off, and suddenly they were able to get 3 kills for their side, 2 of them on the cores. But I love how Boom Esports was playing this, by the way. They kept the Lotus Orb on FBZ and kept it right next to mid one. He's like, you want to Omni me? Because, you know, we can go to the Shadow Realm together. So, well played by them. Overall, though, SMG, still tough spot. Losing Moon so early in that fight. He buys back and dies again. It's tough. He's got the BKB. He's got the Stormcrafter, but he needs something a little bit more, like something in front of him to keep him alive. Right now, all the resources are just going to keeping mid one alive. Roshan's up in 40 seconds. They won't have enough time to sort of get it before Boom Esports is up.
No, not quite enough time for them to be at full power here. Oh no, mid one still looking for a little bit more. Has some blink 4 trying to hold down Tims, but that could put mid one in an awkward spot. Rupture, first charge, does pop the Lincolns, but no secondary charge here for Jackie. Managed to bail out in mid one. The respawns are lining up, and Roshan gonna be the big target on for everyone here in this game. SMG?
No golems for 40 seconds. So that is something for SMG. They might be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's an opening for SMG, not having to worry about that. But the double arena still feels big from FBZ in 20 seconds. Smoke and Moonlight out. Looking for the angle up here. Will they find him? Another arena. Great spear out onto mid one. Go. Eagley does save for now, but it's not enough. He's still melting. Mid one all alone. No saves out from SMG. Masa in the backline is forced to TP away as they find the kill onto Paulson as well. And that should open up the Roche for Boom. Straight into the pit goes Yopaj. Roche number 3 with the free Ag's Blessing as well. Could see that Cataclysm coming out here now if they wish. Or if they want it to be funny, you know, give it on to Skem or Jackie for the Blood Mist, which is terrible. Never do that, but now suddenly SMG just can't be on top here. No buyback in mid one. He bought out his full Swift Blink before that fight. He had the goal.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. I want to say, it's like, if Boom Esports clicked on him before he died and they saw the Swift Blink there, they could have been like, all right, let's just go end it. They might not. Moon, he's bombing. He's actually pushed out the lane all the way out. Doesn't really matter though, because there's no tier 2, so you can just hit the Raxos regardless. And they do have 2 super creeps in the middle and the top side. So, yeah, man, that. All right, it's 40 seconds. It's 40 seconds. All they need to do is hold it for 40 seconds. We'll see if SMG is up for the task. That feels like a long time though.
It's a hell lot of time. Jackie can just right-click through those racks, no problem. He's got the damage to just take care of the objectives. They're holding back the side of SMG from making any plays. And that's Mega Creeps. With only 1 tier 4 standing at less than half HP, Boom going for the Ancients, forcing out the Fortify early. SMG, 14 seconds for mid one. Can the Jug make the difference? Blink forward from FBZ, instant arena out. Trying to cut off. There's the Cataclysm out from Yopaj, blowing up the supports with the refresh. Cleaned up. SMG backs against the wall. They've got the respawn on mid one. Can they do anything? Jackie fighting off against Masa, gets stunned up, but there's the Golem to hold back. Jackie's still dropping low. He does have the Aegis though. Does he really care? Not quite. Will lose that first life. They are dropping low on Masa. He is still alive for now. They are trying to get control. There's the Omni Slash onto Jackie. Jackie. No, the Ancient Faults. Boom, take game 1, and SMG. They get some early aggression, Automo. They get this really wacky draft with the Viper's support, and it looks good for a while. They get the aggression, but it just falls.